Hey Kingdom, who like to spin? Because today we take a look at this awesome spinner build. And this build will be from rank 1 Void Knight of ladder in last epoch right now, Chicken VK. Basically Chicken Void Knight, I guess. We will take a look at his exact build he's using right now, his items, skills, gear, everything you need, if you want to make this build yourself. And as always, I will show you this build in action first, but that's like super simple build. You just going in and you spinning, and that's it. So if you enjoy this play style when you just holding button and looking how your character spins and doing insane amount of damage to your enemies, you can rush a little bit if there's no enemies nearby, and basically that's everything you do. So it's completely super easy and fun play style to do. To just chill a little bit, you know, turn on some music and relax, have some nice time in last epoch. So if you're enjoying it, definitely take your notepad and make sure you're watching closely, because there's a lot of secrets to make this build super cool and powerful. So let's go. And as always, let's start with the skills. First skill is our bread and butter war boss. That's our spinner skill. Basically you hold on your button and you will channel the skill. Channeling cost is 10 mana per second, so you're losing mana each second when you're channeling, but you're doing some damage. It will be one of the first skills you unlock as Sentinel when you're leveling, and you instantly want to level it to the bottom right part to reduce channel cost and get 2 points in here. But that's cheapest way to reduce your spell cost of the spell, because now you reduce your channel cost by 4. And also you want to get this point over here, Reckless Spin. It will reduce channel cost by 6, but also will reduce your elemental resistance. You will gain this resistance afterward, but for now you basically can spin as much as you wish, and it won't hurt you in the game too much. Then you want to travel faster, so you're going to the bottom left and getting more movement speed. Again, it's optional. Some people like going into damage first, but again, damage is like far away, so I like to go to the movement speed and get some points in movement speed first. And then you're going to the top left. It will increase your area, 2 points here, 30%, then 5 points in Whirling Steel. It will give you more damage, but this damage will be doubled with two-handed weapon. And that's what you want to do with this build. You want to Whirlwind with two-handed weapon for double damage. And all 5 points will be here. Also we're getting 2 points in Battle Master Blade, we're increasing area with two-handed weapon, and also we're getting 2 points in Dark Nexus. So now every second when we're channeling with two-handed weapon, we're gaining mana per second. That's very nice and useful because we will use other spells. It will drain our mana. So with this combination we basically can regain mana when we channeling this spell. And at this time you will already switch into your Void Knight Mastery, and now you can start leveling top right. So top right, 2 points in Void Spiral, Warpath Diesel additional melee void damage, and this effect is doubled with two-handed weapon. Also we get 1 point in Echo Knight, so now Warpath can echo, and this will leave this kind of summons behind you that's spinning around and doing damage. And also you will have global increased void damage, that's super powerful stuff. Then 1 point in Apocalypse Whirl. Base physical damage will be converted to void, and you will scale with void damage anyway, so that's kind of no-brainer. Also we'll have some Time Rot chance. Time Rot is basically like damage over time passive that inflicting void damage over time, and all bleed and ignite chances will be converted to Time Rot. So if you got any bleed or ignite chances on your gear or other nodes you will have, they all will be converted to Time Rot chance. That's super powerful stuff. And also more of the deep, 3 points here. When you inflict this Time Rot on your enemies, you will do more damage per each stack. Very powerful stuff. Stacks up to 12 times, increasing damage to bosses and other guys really significantly. And we got 24 points over here, so if you don't have level of war boss stuff and you don't have all points, I would remove these 3 points from more of the deep, actually, and possibly 1 point from damage. Because while damage is really important, it's not less important to inflict damage in more area, so you can actually attack a boss and stand outside of the boss range. Now let's go to our next node, it's Shield Rush. Normally you can use Shield Rush to travel some distance and only with a shield. That's why we instantly want to go to the bottom node over here to increase damage and get 2 points in here. To go to the right node, Dark Rush. Now this no longer requires a shield, and also you will get increased base void damage. With 3 points in Consuming Pulse, which increase damage, you can get Will Breaker. Shield Rush hits deal more damage to enemies at full health. So that's pretty fun node kinda, but I don't want to get it early game, not suggest to you. Instead you can get a Rush Mastery to increase mana efficiency by 120%, 6 points in here. And also you can increase damage by going to the left side, final hit damage will be more, final hit area will be more, so basically when you turning this stuff off, you're doing some damage, it can like throw away and destroy some low health enemies. Also Critical Rush, you will have more critical strike hit chance with this skill, and crit multiplier will be more. Again, it's kinda useful when you want to run away from enemies and maybe crush some low health enemies at the end. But most of the time you will just use the skill for like traveling through the map. So next skill is Anomaly. That's a Void Knight skill, and that's a combo skill normally that first sends enemies forward in time, and you can reactivate the skill to bring those enemies back to your timeline. And you want to instantly, like, don't bother too much how it works. First of all, level Void Touched, and now when enemies hit by Anomaly, they are afflicted with Time Rot when they return, and you want to get this immediacy. Anomaly effects trigger instantly. So now you no longer sending enemies forward in time, you just casting the spell. That's Bubble, and you will do more damage to the enemies because Warpath doing more damage to time rotted enemies, basically using it to inflict time rot now. And then you're leveling this part over here, gaining 1 point in time bubble. Anomaly leaves behind a time bubble for 5 seconds, which slows enemies and shreds their void resistance. Again, you just cast it and you will do more damage to these enemies in this bubble. Also 2 points in manipulation to increase attack speed in this bubble, so you casting it and you're doing more damage, Warpath scaling with. Void, melee, area, channeled, movement and strength scaling tags, but with attack speed it's scaling too, so more attack speed means more damage. And with this correct leveling you will be in Anomaly, this bubble, so you basically like pressing this skill, inflicting time rot, and you're in a bubble and you're raising your damage by like significant amount. So look, normally right now I'm doing like 24k damage, but when I press Anomaly it will be instantly like 33k damage, just insane. And here we get in 5 points in Temporal Mastery to increase time bubble duration, 1 point in Time Lord, time bubble will be casted on you, that's what you just saw. And when allies or enemies exit time bubble area, this effect will persist for a few seconds, so that's useful stuff too. And 2 points in Decimation, increasing critical strike chance. So make sure to understand that we get 22 points in Anomaly right now. Again, if you don't have all these points, maybe don't take this increased critical strike chance, it's not so important. Instead, you want to have 4 points in Emission to the left part, and it will increase area of this bubble. This will give you access to instant cast. So normally it got some cast time and you don't have increased casting speed on this guy when you're leveling him. He's Sentinel after all, Void Knight, and instant cast is really powerful stuff. It will give you more cooldown, but again you don't care too much because you will reduce this cooldown then by getting Anticipation, 3 points in here, reducing cooldown by 3 seconds. And you will have around like 3-4 seconds of cooldown and you can use it as much as you wish. Next part, Sigils of Hope. Normally it's Paladin skill, but it's super useful, it gives you more damage. And also we get a chance to convert all fire damage from the spell to void damage, and it looks basically like this. You're just casting Sigils of Hope, you can cast 1, 2 or more sigils, and each sigil will do more damage, give you more damage basically. So you cast 4 sigils and your damage will be up instantly. But there is one main takeaway, they cost 40 mana. You don't have a lot of mana and you will basically be out of mana after casting all 4 sigils. You will be in mana deficit. So it's nice and smart to keep sigils up every time, all the time, and that's why we want to go to the left part first and get at least 4 points here in empowering sigils. It will increase damage that is granted by each sigil. Then we get in 1 point in Last Wish. Now you get a chance to summon sigil on kill. Really low chance, but still. Sometimes it's activating and you don't need to recast sigils as often. Also we're getting 3 points in fire damage per active sigil, and then converting it to void damage with sigils of despair. That's our main damaging part, and then we're going to the right side. We get an endurance threshold per active sigil, and it's pretty nice amount. With 4 points here we're getting plus 60, so it will be plus 240 with all 4 sigils. And here with 4 sigils, right now we got 3 sigils maximum, but after a few points in here we're getting 4 points in enduring hope, increasing its duration. And then we want to have all 5 points in here. More duration means we need to recast them less often again. And then this point in tetragram, now maximum sigils will be up by 1. And last but not least, rebook. So why we need this rebook? Because it costs 0 mana. Basically, it's looking like this. So we're just standing still in a bubble, gathering some stuff, and then you got some like movement speed increase for like little bit duration. Most importantly, when you're doing this skill, you will have a lot of resistance, and then you will retaliate this damage you take while you're standing still. And mostly it's useful like in situations when you need to recast your sigils. You just recast them, you lose all mana, and you can cast the spell for 0 cost. You exit and then just go and spin around. Don't forget to cast Bubble on yourself to do more damage, or just rush to your next enemies. That's it. That's all combinations you need to know. And how we leveled this rebook. Basically we got right pass to increase duration, 2 points here, and 1 point in Infinity Guardian to increase duration 1 more time by increasing cooldown. We don't care about cooldown, but a little bit of duration won't hurt. Again, that's kinda extra notes, and I would say they probably a little bit maybe questionable. Why do you need this duration? Maybe instead you can pick mana regeneration, so you will regen more mana. But again, top 1 Void Knight thinks this is better. I guess you can trust him. But main tree over here, you want to start leveling from Regenerative Shell, 2 points at least, to increase health regeneration while you're in this rebook form, and then get some points in Augmented Plating and Brave the Elements. You will get bonus to elemental damage taken, it will be reduced, and also you will have more armor. Then you get in 1 point, single point in Protective Legacy. The buffs you are granted when you're doing this stuff now persist after you finish channeling rebook, and their duration is equal to half the duration you channeled rebook for. So now it kinda makes sense. To keep these buffs on you for more time, you want more duration. Okay, that's like got some sense now. And also we get 1 point in buff burst of speed, haste on the end, and attack speed on the end, and also 2 points in solemn woe. These buffs will be for more duration. And that's our skill leveling. Let's get down to passives. Okay, so we're starting as Sentinel, and we want to level up Juggernaut, 8 points in here to get more strength and resistance to fire and void, and also 7 points in Fearless that gives vitality and health regeneration. Then we're getting 5 points in Armor Clad that gives more armor and reducing damage taken from nearby enemies. And for now, that's it. So that's it, we're switching to Void Knight. At this point of the game, we got already 20 points invested in Sentinel, that's it. But in the end, when you feel it's right time, you want to level up a little bit of Valiant Charge. So Valiant Charge will increase cooldown recovery speed for movement skills, that will give you a lot more faster clearing speed for monoliths, you don't need to travel at low speed, you will recharge Shield Rush a lot more faster. And also 5 points in Blade Master to increase attack speed. That's it. So that's more like late game points when you don't have any other points that you need. But actually there's questionable stuff. Do you want to actually start with Void Knight? And that's really a big question, because Void Knight at first levels will give you more health, void resistance, physical resistance, and also a little bit of void damage. So just a little bit. But why it's questionable? Because it's just a little bit, and like a lot of damage comes from our sigils. And to get sigils we need to level Paladin a little bit. So that's why I guess it's better to get a little bit of Paladin first. First of all, you get in Defiance, 5 points in here, you get in more Attunement and Elemental Resistance. Again, we're kinda countering elemental resistance that we're losing from our Warpath channeling. And then heal leveling Valor to increase your health and healing effectiveness. So, mostly other Paladin nodes is not so important and useful for us, but Conviction, increasing your physical damage and physical penetration, basically a lot of other penetrations and damage types, but physical damage. Will this affect our void damage actually? Let's check together right now. So right now my void damage of this stuff is 24k and 300. So I'm getting 1 point in it and it's instantly 400. And if we max out this stuff, instead of 400 damage, we can get 900 damage here. So if you want to have more damage instead 150 health and healing effectiveness, possibly you can get Conviction instead. Maybe it's a lot better for early game also. And then let's get back to our Void Knight, so we can finally level up this bro and start to scale to the late game. So what we're getting here, our top node, health, void resistance and physical resistance, 8 points, then 2 points in temporal corruption. And again, I'm telling you then, but try to open all nodes we need on your way up. And when you finish up, then go backwards. So start from the left, go instantly to the right as fast as possible, and then go backwards and level up everything accordingly. We got temporal corruption that will give you more damage, void damage, and we get into points just to get to this node over here in third row. Void blades. Melee void damage increased by 24. That makes sense. And also on second node we got Word Eater. Melee damage leached as health 6% and void damage leached as health 6%. So we get like 12% health leech because we're doing melee damage and void damage at the same time. That's insane. Nice leech. Also, Void Corruption giving you more critical strike multiplier per point spent in Void Knight, and we got basically 68% Void critical strike multiplier by this. And also we got 8 points in Doom Knight, increasing our strength and health. So then we're getting finally to Rot Grip. Your melee attacks have a chance to inflict enemies with Time Rot, that's nice. And we're getting 4 points to get 4 points here, singular purpose. Increasing void damage by 100% by reducing your block chance. And we're not using shield, so we don't care too much, but increasing void damage by 100% is insane. So then we got this bottom node Eternal Form. It gives you vitality and health. And basically if you're feeling that you're being one-shot too much, you can start leveling this, but instead start with top node. Echo and Strikes, you will increase your Echo chance. And you want this Echo as much as possible, that's why you're getting 10 points in Time Legion, increasing melee attack speed, Time Rod chance and Echo chance at the same time. And also, after 5 points in Time Legion, you can get Avatar of Regret. Again, you're getting 5 points, getting Avatar of Regret, and then going backwards, finishing 10 points here, and so on. So, Time Legion gives you access to Avatar of Regret, which gives you more Echo chance by reducing your attack speed and increasing mana cost. But that's completely fine, Echo is so powerful stuff. And also we get this Void Flux. Whenever damage reduces your health below 20%, you send all nearby enemies forward in time for 4 seconds. So basically it acts like a little bit saver for you. Now let's take a look at his gear, what he is wearing. And before I will explain all gear on this bro, don't forget, you can take a link from description and see all my build planners and last Epoch videos. You just go to the top left for build planners, and on the right side there will be rank 1 players, and that's planners for these builds. So gear, we got 5 uniques that is really important for this build. First of all, we got Apathy Maw, that's 2-handed axe, gives you melee damage, increased physical damage. It's increasing minion physical damage, you don't care about it too much, but also it got modifiers with melee void damage, chance to apply Doom on hit, increasing Doom duration, void penetration with Doom, increasing melee damage, and leech rate. So super powerful hammer axe for our build. And he got 2 modifiers, melee critical strike chance and chance to shred armor on hit. So make sure to watch for these modifiers on your gear. Also we got this legendary ring, Siphon of Anguish. It gives you more elemental resistance. Also, it gives more health leech, void damage leech. So we get leeching from melee and void at the same time. Leech is crazy with this build. Increasing leech rate, again, movement speed, that's insane, and chance to apply doom on hit, that's cool. So basically a nice ring that accomplish great synergy with Apathy more. So on this ring we got increased critical strike chance, health, and elemental resistance from our additional modifiers. Next ring is legendary too. It's Quicksilver Coil, increasing your movement speed, and this ring gives you a chance to gain haste for 1 second on hit. Very nice ring, so when you're spinning, you get chance to be faster. Also, it increases melee attack speed. It's basically a rogue ring that gives a lot of buffs for flurry, but still he using it mostly for movement speed and this chance for haste, I guess. And he got nice additional bonuses on this stuff. It got health, elemental resistance, and critical strike chance. One more legendary is Dark Stride, boots that gives you armor, movement speed, as always, but also they giving you movement speed more and giving you melee void damage. And also it's increasing movement speed per added melee void damage. You got a lot of melee void damage, so your movement speed with these boots is like no-brainer, it's super good. And also it's increasing void damage, and he got additional bonuses, modifiers in these boots with increased movement speed and hybrid health that gives health and percentage health. And last legendary that you need for this build is Anchor of Oblivion. It's a relic. You get increased armor in percentage, and he got insane modifier on this relic, plus 48% to all resistances while channeling. So that's cool, because while channeling we kinda losing resistances with our leveling, and this kinda counters it completely. And we even getting buff. That's why if you see his resistances on the left side, he don't have all resistances kept. Physical, necrotic, and poisoned just like around 40%, and this will make them like 100% instantly. Also, this relic will increase your void damage anyway, give you more endurance threshold, strength, and when hit leaves you below your endurance threshold, you are slowed and release a powerful wave of void. Not bad. Other items is just purple items, so helmet gives us armor and reducing bonus damage taken from critical strike by 82%, so almost maximum. And that's actually one of the two stats that you want to max out when you're going to the late game. It's either critical strike avoidance or reducing damage from critical strikes. So one of them, and you want to cap them at 100%. So he got 100% of this bonus. Modifiers on helmet is strength, levels to anomaly and void damage increase, increased health, T6, 20% increased health, and 108 armor. Also, if we take a look at his EHP, effective HP, it's quite high. It's more than 12,000, sorry, yeah. That's just insane. So, our MacLeod got increased critical strike chance. That's what to watch for, because he got increased critical strike chance on almost all the gear. And in the end, his critical strike chance for melee is 99%. So basically, he got 100% critical strike chance. And this MacLeod gives critical strike multiplier with modifiers. Not this MacLeod, but he got modifier for this. Chance for frailty on hit and health. That's not so important, I guess. Now, our armor got 700 armor. Insane. Also, armor mitigation will be applied to damage over time. That's insane, because if we take a look at our defense, lowest EHP against damage over time, but this calculation not taking this bonus into account, so it's much higher. And also, he got +4 levels to War Pass and increased melee damage, T7 modifier, insane armor. Also 11 strength, increased armor, increased health, and increased shred armor effect. Locked. Oh, insane gear. So belt got armor, potion slots, increased poison damage, void damage, health, and hybrid health. And last but not least, our gloves gives us armor mitigation applied to damage over time, very nice. And bonuses is increased melee attack speed, strength, more armor, and reducing damage taken from critical strikes, and hybrid health. So, very nice gloves. What we got in our idols? We got increased Warpass area and chance to slow on void hit. We got 4 of these idols. And let me guess, it's just basic health idols. Yeah, we got 5% health and 26 health on these idols, and basically 4 of them. Simple yet effective. If you wanna know what blessings he's using, it's chance to shed void resistance on hit, 19% to all resistances, increasing stun chance, increasing armor, and more armor while channeling. Very good. So I hope you enjoyed this awesome Void Knight Warpath spinner build, and you will have a blast playing it in last Epoch. Watch other cool videos on screen right now, and see you in the next videos.